something this heavy and this large, you need to use metal. So what we had to do is figure out where is the center point of each leg, where is the center point of the neck, where is the center point down the middle of the head, because we wanted our metal to go through that center point and so that it's not sticking out, so that we can build the clay around that metal to create the actual clay piece that will later be the bronze. Take a sip of wine. Okay, so it's very complicated. We only have a small bear and we have to make a big bear. This is where some math comes in. I know art students are not crazy about the math thing, but we're scaling something up. So we have something that's small and we need to make something that's big. Now, if we have something that's small, this might be hard to explain, and say we have a square that we draw around it, okay, and that square is 1 foot wide and 2 feet long, and we know we want to make it 4 times bigger, so that it'll be 4 feet wide and 8 feet long. If we know where the foot is falling in that square on our little one, then we can figure out where the foot should fall on our big one. So we can look at how far the foot is from the back of our rectangle, how far it is from the side of our rectangle, and we can actually put a mark there that tells us where that foot should go. So you can imagine that we had to make about 100 or 200 of these different marks so that we could be sure that when we made the big one, it looked like the little one. And with things that were higher up, we also had to know how high up the mark would be. So we had to do multiplication and we had to keep all that straight, exactly what mark went where. So that was our original, well, okay, let me step back a bit. That deals with the outside of the bear, sort of each outside part of it, like where the outside leg is. We maybe mark 4 or 5 places where that paw will intersect with the platform. And then we put our armature in the middle of that, and we weld the armature together, and then we bulk it out with styrofoam, because we don't want it to be any heavier than it has to.
Sorry, Kate, I got behind you a little bit. You said you put the armature in the middle, and then...
Okay, then we weld the various pieces together, so we have one piece for the front leg, one piece for the other front leg, one piece of metal for each of the back legs, and then a box of metal for where the torso is, and then we have a piece of metal coming out for the head, the neck and head. And you see this is just sort of like a line in space. You've got the box, an open box of just lines, and then you have the lines for the feet, and then the lines for the head. And so you've got to make that line thing now into a form that is the sculpture. So we don't want to use too much clay, because the clay is expensive and it's heavy. So as much as we can, we take styrofoam and we fill in areas with styrofoam and put duct tape around. And then when we feel like we've bulked it out as much as we feel comfortable with, and hopefully within 2 or 3 inches of the surface, we put the clay on. And that is a process that took a good, just putting the clay on took a good 6 months, I think. It took a long time.